So what's the way ahead? So first of all, you need to have a different kind of thought leadership and new analytical models. I will give a few examples later, but I think those are the two big directions. So thought leadership, you need norm groups per job family. If you have a provider for personality tests, questionnaires, of course, or performance tests, you have to demand to get the raw data, or that then they make a special norm for special job families that you have, because otherwise you lose a lot of the predictive power. Take the trajectory into account. Really think about that. You have people that shall go on a certain job road, so to speak. If you hire an engineer, maybe 99% of the engineers shall not do a managerial career, but maybe they don't want to, right? So then think about what predicts best, whether someone really does more interaction with things than with people. Then think about in some job roles you may want to have a long tenure. Administration, for example. Once people know everything, they're much more effective. That may take a couple of years. Another job roles, let's say, think about trading. You want to have people that really give everything. You don't care how long they stay. They must give 120%, right? So priming a star. So which means those are considerations that haven't been taken into account from a thought leadership perspective so far. And then there's a nice model that we used with SHL, which was engagement and execution. So the ability of engaged people and execute the task. And what you look at is someone that would be a top talent, or the people that you then nominate as leaders that would be in both. But there's another study from CEB that says that what you really want is you want people that are good, that are engaged, but also that are motivated. Yeah, so basically, that true top talent has 40% of probability to be successful in the next job position is someone who's also motivated. So you have engagement, execution, and energy. Yeah, so you have someone who's good with people, good with things, but also has displays the willingness to go the extra mile to get to the next position, right? So such people. So you need to identify them with such things. And then, of course, different models like survival models can be used to understand how long people stay. Then, of course, you should use machine learning, which rather focuses on predicting future scenarios and not try to explain certain connections, right? The world is too complex to use just a very, very granulated view. Then look at scenarios, and of course think about privacy. And this is a big topic, because when we talk about unlocking more data, right, and we want to keep the data, we want to stick to this, we want to work with the data, what's super important, it's crucial almost, is that we are able to keep it in a way that the individual's privacy is not compromised. Yet, on the other hand, the data can be leveraged on, right? And so, and you see this also on a global perspective, that in some countries, there is a total different approach towards privacy, right? So you see, for example, that especially in the, let's say, Anglo-Saxon world and in Japan and, let's say, into Northern Europe, people are really into privacy. In other parts, they're not at all. And look at distribution difference between India and Germany, right? So the classical German, at the middle, right? At the middle of the distribution, the median actually is where the Indian preferences start. So if someone then talks about they don't want to give their email address, the Indian colleague will say, what's wrong with you? And vice versa, right? So, and so, I've seen this in projects, no? But the point is that you really need to take this into account and really talk with the representation as soon as possible in order to really get a holistic and strategically sound focus.